Alternative gonna give you what you asking for. Naturally yours, but educate the most. Hottest in the game, here to put you on. Come learn this business, welcome to Twinness. Alternative gonna give you what you asking for. Naturally yours, but educate the most. Hottest in the game, here to put you on. Come learn this business, welcome to Twinness. But glad you're tuning in on the latest tip. Alternative salon, keep your head lit. And naturally yours, got your custom fit. T-shirt and tonigt, keep your wig drip. Double up the impact, call it Twinness. Hottest hairstylist in the business. Keeping topics fresh for your listening. Black owned, woman independent. Like fishes hold it down on your imaging. Whether professional or apprenticeship. Showing culture love just to get you right. Black is beautiful, always shining bright. Alternative gonna give you what you asking for. Naturally yours, but educate the most. Hottest in the game, here to put you on. Come learn this business, welcome to Twinness. Alternative gonna give you what you asking for. Naturally yours, but educate the most. Hottest in the game, here to put you on. Come learn this business, welcome to Twinness.
Hello. This is
Hi, how are you?
Alternatives Beauty Studio.
I am Tanika Gillard. I am naturally yours.
Awesome. How was your day today, Nikki?
It was a good day. No complaints. And yours?
It was great. So let me tell you, Nikki, no, guys, this was not planned. Our hair being the same was not a planned thing. I got on camera and I noticed that my sister has her hair the same as mine. Look at that. That was a Twinness thing right there.
And the lipstick too is dark. So that was another thing that's alike, but that's okay. Yeah, we never plan out before we get on the cameras, you guys. We just show up. Yes. So anyway, we're not going to make this long and drawn out. We're going to introduce who we got. So we're going to talk about...
we always have to say our thank yous first.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So I want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching my skincare. I've gotten so many compliments and comments on it. I am going to repeat it because someone said that I was speaking so fast. They wanted more information. So I am going to do that again and add more information. But I just want to say thank you guys for watching and tuning in on Tuesdays when I was doing my skincare. This month, we're going to be doing actually makeup. And then next month, I believe we're doing... February is the makeup, and the month after will be nails. And so then I will have to repeat the skincare after that. So I just want to say thank you guys, because I've gotten so many comments and compliments and feedback from that, even in personal.
By the time you come back to skincare, it'll be summer. So we would need a new refresher on skincare.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything on your end, Nikki?
Nothing much on my end. Keeping it quiet, just keeping it low and making it do what it do over here.
Awesome. Let's introduce our guest tonight. Let's just get right into it because, this was a topic that I even brought up in the salon this weekend. And yesterday it was a hot topic. So even this morning, because, I did a client this morning because we had snow here. So usually I don't work on Sundays, but it was a hot topic in the salon today as well. Wow. We talk about it, Nikki. Let's talk about it.
No, you go ahead.
Tonight we are talking about our intimate spaces, right? So our intimate spaces. I'm not going to go any further into that until we get our guest on here. And our guest is Trish. Trish Womack. I'm going to say her last name, Trish Womack. And I love her products. That's all I'm going to say about that. And go ahead, Nikki.
We have Alexis OHara, young entrepreneur, very young. I'm so proud of her. Knew her since she was a little girl, almost a baby. But so yes, I'm very excited to see what we have to talk about. I'm going to give y'all some stuff on what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the intimate spaces. We're not sure what we can say on this platform, so we're going to keep it nice and clean and classy. And we're going to talk about the stuff we need to look for, stuff we should do, stuff we shouldn't do, stuff that maybe you don't feel comfortable talking to your parents about. Maybe your parents don't feel comfortable talking to you about it. I don't know. Or sometimes we hear things from our friends but we want to get the scoop today from these two young ladies that are in the business.
All right, so without further ado, I'm going to click them right on in. Here we go. Here's Trish and Alexis. Hi, ladies. Let me see. Their microphones are not on. Your microphones.
It's on now. Hello.
Okay, it's on now.
How are you guys today?
I am doing fine. How about you?
We are great. Let's.
I'm good. I'm cold up here, but good.
Cold up here, but good. And
Well,
okay, so
down
when she
here
says
too.
up here, she's in the Poconos.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're going to start with Alexis first. Could you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do, what you're about, and what we're going to be talking about today.
Well, hello. My name is Alexis OHara, but on social media, I'm really known as Alexis Jewel or I Wax Coochies. I am an esthetician, a spa owner, and I am a Brazilian wax specialist. I also sell vagina products. And yeah, that's it. Today we're going to talk about, vagina care, getting waxed versus shaving, and, being an entrepreneur altogether.
All right. Trish, introduce yourself.
Great evening. I am Trish, also known as I Am Radiant. And that name came from God because he said, let your light shine, which is his light through me.
Okay.
And yes. And I have sanitary products. And I'm also in the process of being certified in womb wellness.
I love it. I love it. So we got some educated people here tonight. So I'm pretty excited about it. So I'm going to start with Alexis because what you do kind of ties into what Trish does. So we're going to start there with down there care. So
Okay.
Alexis, what made you give us a little background? Because I know you was in college for what?
Like 2.5 to 3 years.
What was your major?
Biology.
Biology was your major. And so you ended up changing your mind and saying, hey, I want to do something different. What sparked that?
I always knew I wanted to be my own boss because even before I got in skincare, I was selling hair and I was trying to do hair, but it was like a nice hobby, but I noticed that it really wasn't my passion. Like I didn't love dealing with it. So I was like, what else could I do? And one day I was getting my lashes done and this girl was like, you should start looking into trying to provide services, being more hands-on with things. So then that's when I just did my research and it ended up being aesthetics because I didn't want to do people's hair. So I was like, what else could I do? So I got
So you wanted to do hair down there. You didn't want to do hair, that type of hair. So, okay. And that's fine. That's fine. So why was it important for you to do the intimate spaces? You're so young.
Well, it just kind of, I don't know. It just kind of naturally happened because at first I wasn't even just focused on that. I was focusing on like the whole body. It's just that the more I got booked, that's when I realized, okay, this is what I want to just focus on doing vagina care instead of like, I still wax other parts of the bodies, but my specialty is Brazilian. So that's why I always advertise that I wax coochies. I wax everything but eyebrows. I can't do eyebrows.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
And so your business is lucrative. How long have you had your business?
I've had my business for, I'll say the start of it was over 2 years, but when I really started taking it more seriously and, making that decision to withdraw from college and taking a step closer, like deeper into it, was this like last July. So this July will make a year of me getting 100% serious.
Okay. So I want to say congratulations because you are young and that hats off to you for that. So Trish, what made you start your line? Tell us what your products are, what it is that you do.
My products are natural, healthier, alternative option sanitary napkins and liners. Okay. Now, what made me look into this was 5 years ago. Well, 6 years ago, I was approached and I was like, sell sanitary napkins? No, that's crossing the line. I'm not doing that. But then I was commute out. I still work in New York. Thank God I'm home working now. But on the way back from New York, I heard the spirit say, look at this. And I'm like, only thing I want to look at is the back of my eyelids right now before I get to PA. But it was like, look at this. So I opened up my phone, went to Facebook, and right there was a gentleman talking about it. And I'm like, okay. So when I got home, I went on, reached out to him. He sent me the information for the Zoom call that night. And at the Zoom call, the CEO, one of the CEOs, did a demonstration. And I was like, that's it. Sign me up. So I signed up. And then I reached out to him afterwards and told him, oh, I'm ready. He was like, okay, here's my information. I said, no, I already joined. Because what I went through growing up, I don't know if anybody else experienced this. The aches, the pains, the being in the bed, crawled up in a fetal position. The only way I didn't feel the pains if I was outside already running on the track. Then the pains wouldn't mess with me. Fast forward, I was having miscarriages. Didn't know why. And I'm like, okay, don't question God. Things happen for a reason. And that's how I looked at it. Until my daughter had a miscarriage. And I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. Something is definitely wrong. And that's how I got birthed into the sanitary products. And it's my mission. It's my goal to make sure that no one suffered the way we suffer.
Okay, I'm gonna come back to that in just a minute. I just want to say thank you all for joining Twinness, whether y'all are here live with us right now or on the replay. We are streaming live on @Voice of Promise on Roku TV. So thank you guys for joining us. And we know that this is a personal topic, but we wanted to touch on it because we are women and we need to address the issues. I think that with so much other stuff going on and focusing on other things, sometimes we forget about our care down there, and we forget that STDs are high in the population, and we need to be proactive, protective, and informed is what I want to say.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for joining Twinness. My name is Tanika Gillard. I am Naturally Yours. We have Tisha McDonald. She is Alternatives Beauty Studio. We have our guests, Alexis OHara and Trish Womack. They are really into this women's spaces stuff. So I'm going to head back over to Alexis and ask her. So we know that you do what you do. You're an esthetician. And so when you're talking to young ladies, I kind of went through your feed before we invited you on, and I saw that you talk about different STDs and you talk about different discharge. So we're going to go with that topic right now of the normal discharge versus abnormal discharge.
Okay, so normal discharge, it can be like white, clear, as long as it doesn't have a smell. But when you go to like white and clear and it has a foul smell, more than likely it's yeast infection or BV, bacterial vaginosis. When it's red, it could be your period, but can also be like some type of UTI or anything. When it's brown, that indicates, your cycle is about to start or it's ending. But what you mainly of course want to always look at your discharge, but when it has a smell to it, that's when you should really be concerned. And I always tell people, just because, you may not think it's something that deep, it's always something that deep. Whenever you're not feeling right or you feel like, okay, hold on, why I smell like that, sometimes it's more than my pH is thrown off. It can be like BV, it can be an STD, it can be a yeast infection. Like, just try not to always think that something can just go away when sometimes it doesn't.
Okay, exactly. And we all know that sometimes you need more more to be done, whether you need an antibiotic or something like that. So Trish, on that same line, you was talking about all the miscarriages that you and your daughter suffered, and my condolences to you for that.
Right.
But what made you have the connection between the maxi pad and the miscarriages?
I would suffer with irritation, where I would have to walk with my legs gapped open, and didn't understand, like, why am I being irritated from these pads, and not realizing it was the pads until the chafing started. And then I would get the yeast infection. I'm like, hold on, why am I breaking out when I'm eating right? Because I believe in my fruits, I believe in my vegetables. I'm a meat eater. Well, I should say was a meat eater when I'm talking about growing up. But it was something that I didn't have to eat. It would be the last thing on my plate. So if I didn't want it, I wouldn't eat it. So my body is going through all of this, and I wasn't a soda drinker, but yet I'm suffering from miscarriages. Was on the pill. Let me go there too. I was using the pill and got pregnant with my first child, my son. And that like blew my mind, because when I went to the doctor, the tests kept coming up negative, and they was doing blood work, and it was coming up negative. I went through my whole first trimester without the doctor detecting that I was pregnant. He had to do a sonogram to see my child. So I'm like, something was off altogether. And when I say it was the pads, because when my daughter miscarried, I mean, her water broke and everything. She developed faster than she's supposed to be. Let's put it that way. You look at her, you think she was like 5 months pregnant, and she was still in her first trimester. So the baby was being developed faster than it should have. And the only thing she was using was, I'm not going to name the company pads, but it's traditional pads that we all was conditioned to use. And no, we never touched the ones that you plug yourself up with.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not naming names.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right.
So
you have anything?
Say that. So in the process, I got the pads, and I had her start using the pads. And then I started noticing a difference.
The pads that you now sell.
Right. Well, I started off with our first company, which was excellent. Well, I should say they was good, because these are excellent. So we improved on them. I'm going to put it like we improved on them. So we started with those because they was natural. There was cotton. There was no plastic. There was no recyclable trash. There was no deoxin. And
can you just expound on that a little bit? Because a lot of women don't know that our maxi pads are made with, or the traditional ones, because I use yours now. The traditional ones are made from plastic and recycled garbage.
Recyclable trash, newspaper. If you open up the pad, you would be able to see, and we know for a fact that paper doesn't absorb anything.
Right.
And it's plastic on the bottom. It's a rayon synthetic fabric on top. So if we're using these synthetic products on our most important part of our body, and deoxin, they bleaching it to make us believe that it's clean, because we see white and we automatically think it's pure. So now they're bleaching it, telling us, oh, the little bit of deoxin, the chemical that's inside, is not enough to harm you. However, after years of using it, it's into our system, it's into our bloodstream. So we have a hysterectomy, 600,000 hysterectomies a year. Children, and I'm calling them children, as young as 21 years old, having tumors and having to have a hysterectomy. And I remember growing up hearing my grandmother say, I'm on my rag. And I'm like, on your rag? What the heck is on your rag? And then here I am with the maxi pads. And back then, we didn't have no adhesive on them. We had a sanitary belt that we had to hook into both sides. And she goes, what's this new fandangled thing? So it started back then with us using products that they brainwashed us to believe was better for us.
Okay. And this is years ago, I used to hear things like that all the time about diapers as well as maxi pads, because they were saying that the diapers, because they kept improving the diapers, making it more absorbent, but it also affects the reproductive system for our children as they get older, whether they can't have children or, you know, they cause problems as well, because they use the same chemicals and stuff in the diaper that they use on the maxi pad, and which causes women to have problems later on down the road, or even sterility. You know, that's what they're saying.
Infertility, yes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So we're going to get back to Alexis for a moment, because I have some other questions for Trish, but we're just going to keep rounding the table. So, Alexis, I'm an esthetician as well. So, but one thing, yes, I went to school back in 2001. So I've been an esthetician since 2001. I started out as a nail tech because college wasn't for me, Alexis. College wasn't for me. I went to college, a 2-year college on a 4-year plan, never graduated. So then I ended up going to nail school. And then 5 years after that, I became a nail tech examiner for New York City. So I would be the proctor, grading you on your test. Are you being sanitary and stuff like that? Then I went back to school for aesthetics in 2001, and I've been an esthetician ever since. So right now I'm about to start my skincare line, you know, because people keep asking me about my skin. Thank you. And that's in the spring. But I'm so proud of you because you're taking it to a different level. So when I was in school, there was not many Black estheticians. There was not many people for aesthetics. As a matter of fact, it was, I want to say, maybe 4 of us in the school that I went to. It was maybe 4 of us, but I went to school in a very exclusive part of New York City, Christine Valmy, and that's on 5th Avenue. Saks Fifth Avenue is right down the street, and I got a job there. And I used to do, that's where I did my first 2 celebrities. Anyway, we're going to digress from that. So, but you are in the waxing, and you don't see many Black estheticians that wax down there. So I must give you kudos. You're 24, you're doing your thing, and I'm proud of you, because I just said to my daughter, I said, I can see you going so far and making so much money. I could see you being that millionaire. Even when you sent me your your IG, your Facebook, everything is in line. Your branding is great. I'm just like, she's doing her thing at 24 years old. I'm proud of you.
22,
yeah. Even better. That is great.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
So Thank you.
I will have to come through and see you when I come back down to see my sister.
Yes, you might as well. Just an hour away from her.
So, that's far. So let's talk about the Brazilian wax. Okay. Now, let me tell you, I must personally say, and I have to look away a little bit, I must personally say I have done it twice.
And I can say I've done it 0.
Really?
It was so painful. The first time I said, okay, because it's painful, maybe it's because it's my first time that it's so painful. So I said, I'll go another time. It's like me getting my eyebrows threaded. Said, maybe once I get used to this. So I went a second time, and I was like, that is it for me. Never. I said, I'll sign up for this day, so that was so many years ago. So now,
well, let me ask you this. Did you go to somebody Black?
No. I told you, it's not many of us out here that does that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we get kind of freaked out, like, oh, that's just too intimate. Oh, that's just too personal. I don't want my behind up in the air, because you have to contort your body, So a lot of us don't do it,
Yeah, you do have a point. You do. Yeah. I was just going to say, though, I noticed as I started waxing myself that sometimes it's no shade to other races, but you really have to have wax for our type of coarse hairs. And it's wax out here for just other people's, which is fine hair, but then it's wax that we need for coarse hairs.
You're
And
right.
if you had if you would have went to a waxer that had our type of wax that we need for our hairs, and somebody a little gentle like me, you probably still would have been going, because I feel like that's why a lot of people don't get waxed, because they do have horror stories. But it really comes down to, you just really have to make sure you go to the right person. And in our cases, it needs to be somebody African American, really, that knows what they're doing.
It wasn't a horror story, but I was just like,
Yeah. The second time, it wasn't supposed to hurt as bad as the first time.
Mm. Okay, so the hot topic today at the salon was, I'm not going to make it a versus, you know what I mean? Because you have the ones that don't like to, and then you have the ones that like to. But what's the benefits in waxing
versus shaving?
Versus anything. Because some people don't do anything.
Okay.
They just let it grow.
Oh,
because it's supposed to be there. It's so God gave us hair for a reason. I think it's to, keep away bacteria and stuff like that. So God gave us hair there for a reason. So why the wax?
I think personally that everybody in this world should wax, simply because wax is going to pull the hair from the follicle. Shaving or just letting it grow, when you shave, you're just removing it from the surface level, just the skin, just the hair that we can see. But waxing, the reason why it hurts so bad is because the hair is really being pulled from the follicle. This is why you only need to wax once a month, versus shaving. You're probably shaving every 2 weeks, probably every week. And then, since you're cutting at the surface level of your skin, that causes the ingrowns, that causes sometimes the cysts, sometimes, and most of the time, causes that hyperpigmentation down there, like the discoloration. So waxing, you can lessen your chances doing all that. Lessen your chances of having ingrowns, not having to deal with dark spots in most cases. So I feel like that's enough reason right there, because in our community, dark spots is very, very common. Very common. It's very rare that you meet somebody that's all even tone, on our skin. So I feel like razors, they're not really meant for anybody's skin, really. Now you can cut yourself. You gonna cut down there?
What about the growing back process? Because that was kind of funny in the salon yesterday about the itching when it's time for the hair to grow back in. That you're sitting there scratching like you got crabs. That's what one of the clients said. So I'm like,
But yeah, that's gonna happen regardless whether you shave or wax, because the hair is just going through the hair growth cycle. So once it gets to like that 3rd week period of when you get waxed, that's when it's gonna be a little itchy. But if you exfoliate and moisturize, you can avoid all that. Exfoliating and moisturizing is the key ways to, make sure she's straight down there.
That's aesthetics, baby, because that's what I said last week. Everybody's always talking about my skin, but it's the exfoliating and the mask and just the way you take care of your skin. The way you take care of your skin on your face, you need to take care of your skin on the bottom as well. They're both very sensitive,
right.
And it just needs to be taken care of. So aesthetics, guys, aesthetics.
Right.
Yes, I wanted to say thank you for making that point on exfoliating. And I know that you've been viewed 1,000,001 times on that extraction.
Oh yeah.
That is awful. But okay. Trish.
Not awful.
Wait. Alexis, let me ask Alexis a question.
Uh-huh.
Do you have products that you sell to your clients after they get their wax?
Yes, I do.
She can't
name it.
She can't call it out on the show.
It's a provocative name.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But tell us where we could go and find your provocative name.
On JewelsLuxuryAesthetics.com. That's JEWELLES LuxuryAesthetics.com. It's a wash, an exfoliator, and a moisturizer. Where my moisturizer, it's a roll-on, so I call it the gloss. down there gloss. And it's like a 3-in-1 because it's a moisturizer, it's an ingrown serum, it treats ingrowns on the spot. Like my fastest reaction to it was 3 hours from a client. Like the ingrown was completely gone in 3 hours. And it's also a brightening product. So you get all three of those benefits just by using that one product. So it's my top selling product, my gloss.
Okay. And so I want to say this real quick. So we have Alexis on here. She's only 22. She had that biology background. She has her own product line for her business. She has her own business. So she is really, really one to shine. I can see her being on the 40 under 40 list. I don't know if you ever heard of it, Alexis, down here, the 40 under 40. But yeah, so that's awesome. So check her out, look for her products, go get your wax. It would be too personal for me for Alexis to do it,
Oh my God.
So Trish,
she's a professional, Nikki. She's a professional.
She's a professional, no.
Right.
No.
Well, who
guys, you are watching the Twinness. You are watching the Twinness.
Down there with?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Who are you gonna trust her down there with?
Oh, I know, right? I know.
That's right. That's right. You guys are watching Twinness. We are here live with Trish and Alexis. We are talking about down there care. And I'm going to go back to Trish real quick. So I remember, I believe the first pads that I got from you were called Rain, right? Or is that the second?
Jewel. They was Jewel. Jewel. Okay. But it was another company overseas that sold plugins.
Okay.
Plug-ups. Okay. And we said we would never use products or carry products that plug up because of the detriment, the damage that it happens inside of your body. So that's why we chose to change the name on the packaging to Rain.
Okay.
Because Rain Royal.
That's my daughter's name. So we know. Also, Tisha did send me your products and I love them.
Thank you. Thank you.
By the way, I need some more. But but Trish came into my salon one day and then I had clients there and they were like, "You holding back on us? We want some too." So to me, that was my mother-daughter, they're there every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. So what is the benefit? Because now we talked to Alexis about the benefit of her products. What are the benefits of your products? Why is it better? What does it cut down on? Talk to us.
Okay. For those that suffer with migraines, backaches, pain overall. Now, I'm not saying it's from the pads they're using because it could be from the stuff they're putting into their system, the processed foods. So you have to eat right as well as use healthier products for your body. So we're not supposed to have a cycle for 7 days. We're supposed to have a cycle for at least 4. We're not supposed to cramp. Cramping is not normal. So ladies, if you're cramping, don't say, "Oh, I'm cramping because of my cycle." You're not supposed to cramp. We wasn't created to cramp. If your flow is dark, a dark brown, dark red, that's not healthy. Your cycle is supposed to be a fresh red. Bright red. Yes, a bright red. That's a healthy cycle, a normal cycle. If it's not looking like that, you need to look at your diet. You also need to check if there's anything else going on within your system. If you're eating a lot of sugar, cut it out. If you're cramping during your cycle and you're eating dairy and chicken, eliminate it because it helps build up mucus inside your body. So you want to eliminate that. I'm not telling you to cut it off completely, but we know the fruits and the food from the earth is what's best for our bodies.
I didn't know about chicken.
Yes. And I love my chicken.
During that time.
Yeah, during that time. Yes. And you'll notice a difference.
What I notice when I use your product is is very absorbent.
Oh,
You could go
10
hours, you know, you could go hours,
You could,
that you don't have to
without
change
having
as
to change.
often.
Yes, and that's the benefit because our pads are really thin. Let me open up one to show y'all. And this is our moderate flow one. This is our pink package. And this is how thin it is.
Oh
But even
wow.
with the moderate, it still can handle a heavy.
And that's from experience. She's telling you from experience.
Mm-hmm.
We have, and I call it the maternity pad because it goes from the front to the back.
Yes.
Which is excellent for those that just gave birth because it for 9 months most aren't having a flow, so their body is detoxing, and then once you put the black pad on, because now you have to cover your whole thing, it's helping to detox the rest that's in the body. Because the afterbirth, once they take it out, there's still some left up in your system. So the patch is going to detox your body. It's going to pull all of that out. And I know that from my niece. She said, Auntie, you wouldn't believe what came out of me after the fact.
Wow.
That's what I said. So the absorbency is 10 times its weight. We have a constant airflow from the top to the bottom. It's plant-based. No wood pulp, because the traditional pads have a wood pulp inside of it, which many don't know of that as well. It's not infused with herbs. We do have a graphene strip. And the graphene, if you look up graphene, which is a graphite, think about your lead pencils. That's made out of graphite. And that is helping to detox the body, to help to pull the toxins, 99.9% of them outside of the body. And they're good for inflammation. So if you have inflammation anywhere, you could put the strip on that part of your body.
All right. All right,
All
you
right.
guys.
Alexis,
Y'all are
is
watching Twitness. Yeah. What were you going to say, T?
I was just saying, Alexis, is getting dark where you are, girl.
Yeah.
Turn on the lights inside the car.
No,
yeah.
it's crazy because in my head, I really told myself that this interview was at 7:00. Nobody told me that, but in my head, I said 7. So when I looked at the flyer this morning, I said, "Oh my God, that's at 5:00, not 7."
Oh,
I know.
our biologist.
B22. B22. So I have another question, because this was a topic, like I said, in the salon yesterday, because I said what we were going to be talking about today. Using products down there, because we know that the vaginal area is a self-cleaning, it's like a self-cleaning oven.
It
You
is.
really don't need a lot of product down there. Some GYNs will say you could just get away with water. You don't even need the soap. And so we were talking about how now, and Trish, this might be with you as well. Why is it that they're making maxi pads to have fragrance? You don't need a fragrance on your maxi pad. That's not helping your vaginal area. Why is it that, like back in my day, it used to be you should douche after your cycle. And we know now better that you should not be doing that at all. And then
Right.
I can't say this other brand is a big brand that's supposed to be like a feminine wash, but that might be okay because it's supposed to pH balance you. But that's still questionable because you really don't need much down there because it cleanses itself.
What are your thoughts, Alexis?
Well, I do think the vagina, of course, cleans itself. But when it comes to products, I feel like if people are using products, they should be using it for a reason. Like if you're using it, don't say it's to clean it. It's to say, okay, it kind of helps with my odor, or it helps with my hyperpigmentation. Like of course, just for the top and the top only. That's the only place I always recommend any type of product use. It's just the top. When you're talking about going down lower and going in between, you're taking it too far.
Yeah, I'm seeing things like steam it and all of this. I'm like, what the heck? You know?
Oh no, I do like steaming. I do that as a service, the V steaming. I do that.
That's
Why?
it.
What's the benefit?
Basically, like in the steam, it's coming from natural herbs, a mix of different type of herbs. The steam travels inside and basically kind of does like a little detox, and it makes it tighter, and you kind of lubricating a little bit more. So yeah, the steaming is nice.
Yes, and people down here, I don't know about up there, they've been using the yoni eggs. You know about it, Alexis?
I know about those, but I don't like those. I've never tried one, but when I look at it, it kind of turns me off because why do I gotta stick an egg up there?
Okay, so yes, the yoni eggs, I've never used them, but I've heard it's kind of the same like the steaming. It's a ball with herbs in it, and it'll bring out tumors and different abnormalities, fibroids and stuff like that. I've never used one myself, but I did hear good things about the steam. And I'm thinking even with the steam tea, like the same way you steam your face and your hair, you can steam your private area as well.
I was thinking the same thing. Steam, I don't know about this egg thing, because anything that you got to put up there, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but it doesn't. I'm not knocking anybody that does it, but me personally, I'm not doing it. And I'm not recommending it to my clients.
And then you were talking about down there products. Big celebrity promotes this one brand, but it was made by a doctor. And so once this person says, this is one of my favorite things, everybody's going to go out and support that doctor and get that product. It's pH balanced and everything, but a doctor did formulate it for women. So,
okay.
I'm not a pusher for or against, so whatever.
And, whether you wax, whether you shave, that's a personal preference. Whether you do nothing and just go all natural, that's a personal preference. I have my preference, but, everybody has their thing,
So we just wanted to touch on this topic, you guys, and we want to say thank you all for tuning in, for catching the replay, because a lot of times after the show, we'll go back and see how many thousands of viewers watch the show. And so we're grateful for y'all supporting Twinness, whether y'all are here live or if y'all watching on Roku TV at Voice of Promise streaming live. Thank you, Alexis. Thank you, Trish.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This is a great opportunity.
Appreciate it.
We might have to have this conversation again and go a little bit deeper.
Yeah, let's have part two.
Yeah. Thank you. And everybody that was watching or whatever, like Tanika said, catching it on replay. We will see you next week. And I want to say thank you to Trish and thank you to Alexis for joining us this evening. And it was a good conversation. I wish we had more young people watching because I don't believe that this is a topic that's talked about enough. And I believe sometimes it could go either way. The conversation could be taboo or it could be overly stimulated. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. But really, people don't talk about the sanitary products, what's in the sanitary products. We don't know. If it wasn't for Trish saying this is what's going on, the recycled plastic and all of this, who would know that?
That's I didn't know it.
So,
it's amazing.
It's amazing. Alexis, I may send some to Tanika so she could get some to you.
Okay, cool.
Yes, that way you can test it out.
And look, and then you can put them in your shop.
Right.
Hey, y'all got to cross promote. You got to cross promote.
Yes. Oh, of course.
All right, guys, we're gonna say thank you and good night. Thank you for watching. Is there anything, Alexis, you want to say?
No, you guys just please feel free to follow me on Instagram at Jewel's Luxury Aesthetics, on TikTok at Jewel's Luxury Aesthetics, on Google at Jewel's Luxury Aesthetics. You know, anywhere you can search, that's where I'm at. Just type
All right.
in Jewel's Luxury Aesthetics, I'll pop up.
Okay.
Trish, any last words?
Sheisajewel.com. Go to the page, go to the website, download your free period journal.
All right now. Tanika, any last words?
No. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. We will see you next Sunday at 6 p.m. We will be back live. It's a new month next month, so we will be seeing you. And look for me Tuesday. I will start my series on makeup, and I will talk to you later. Hey, Donna. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.